Hey, happy Father's Day, everyone. Right.
Grilling.
You're grilling.
I'm barbecuing. It's barbecue.
That was grilling. You keep telling me it's called grilling here.
Yeah, if you're cooking burgers, it's grilling.
But it's
barbecuing.
BBQing?
I'm smoking ribs. It's
Okay.
barbecuing.
I tried smoking ribs once. I couldn't keep them lit. There's just too much pressure on bottom plate against the rim joist that's existing and not creating enough space for a new rim joist to go in. So I've got to make enough space. It's a hot one. Well, relatively speaking. It's probably 80, 90 degrees out right now. The humidity is probably 89%. So it feels like 101, 102.
Hi, we're Bruce.
And Cheryl,
We moved from California to get away from the hustle
and bustle,
of a fast-paced lifestyle
and a not-so-perfect political climate,
to enjoy a slower speed
better values,
and a rich Christian atmosphere. Join us as we discover our new environment, rebuild our new-to-us home on 2.5 acres,
and enjoy the scenic southern landscape of central western Georgia.
Good morning and welcome back to our channel. I know it's been a hiatus of 4 weeks and I'm sorry for that, but we've had a lot of stuff going on. For those of you who've been following along for some time on our channel, you know that we're behind. So the current date is in the future. It's actually just after Christmas and we're coming in the new year. But that being said, even though this is going all the way back to Father's Day, I wanted to tell you guys how much we appreciate you watching our videos and following along on this transformation of a double wide mobile home into a real house and all the challenges and stuff that we've gone through. So sit back, relax. I hope you enjoy what we put together for you. And I am honestly trying to get caught up as fast as I can. And I've just got so much content that I don't want to leave too much out. But it just takes so long to edit these videos. Kudos to those out there in YouTube land who provide content video and do such good jobs editing. It's not an easy task. And so I'm just grateful that you guys are willing to come along on our journey, and let's keep going. Let's go forward and let's see where this takes us. Love y'all. So I didn't get a chance to do anything this morning. Sunday we went to church and we're having Father's Day over at our son's house here in Georgia, and I'm gonna go outside. We're barbecuing. I just thought I would get a jump on telling you guys happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there, and take a walk around and see what's going on with these guys. I know they're out there smoking some stuff right now. I think we're gonna have some what do they call them? Texas Twinkies. Mention what to me?
That I want that log at work,
Show
at
me
church,
that.
that pine tree, that pine log.
Waylon,
Down,
hey,
Waylon.
go.
Yeah, it's just still sitting there.
Let him be. He can...
Oh, he'll jump and grab that thing out of your hand or hit you in the face with his teeth.
Oh, yeah. He jumped all the way up to my face.
So what are we barbecuing?
Ribs.
Oh, you're not barbecuing. That's right.
Grilling.
You're
No,
grilling.
I'm barbecuing. It's barbecue.
I thought it was grilling. You keep telling me it's called grilling here.
Yeah, if you're cooking burgers, it's grilling.
But it's
barbecuing.
BBQing?
I'm smoking ribs. It's
Okay.
barbecuing.
I tried smoking ribs once. I couldn't keep them lit. I know, bad dad joke, right?
Just
Yeah.
ribs and.
Are you taking pictures of all of her pretty flowers and stuff too?
Well, I'm sure that they'll be seen. I wasn't
Okay.
specifically taking pictures of her pretty flowers. Taking pictures of you and my son.
The sunflower.
Oh, nice. Fat
Fat boy.
boy.
Look at those Texas Twinkies.
Now I call them Georgia fruit roll-ups.
Georgia fruit roll-ups. Well, they look good. Looks like you did a great job.
And we got some pork dripping on them.
Yeah, great color. And they got the smoked cream cheese. Waylon and Merle. Merle Haggard Shaw and Waylon Jennings Shaw. See if you can tell me which is which. Let me know in the comments below.
Ribs is ribs.
Oh, they weren't ready?
I haven't pulled them yet. I mean, I really need to just wait till 165. Which means at 160, they're there. Let's turn up the temperature, so. They look good. They're nice and red. Got some smoke on them.
So we got St. Louis ribs on the grill, and he's gonna go bring them in because they need to get wrapped and then go back home.
Please. This is not tricky.
Watch your step. Out of the way, folks.
Looks good. Nice and red.
Nice color.
I don't want to cook the other direction, but I should put some on there.
You think it'll stay down? I think it'll stay down.
And,
You and just enjoy each other's company. And I'm so grateful for my son, his wife Heather, and just being here in Georgia, close to them, and being able to spend time with them is a blessing. And we're grateful for that. And I ask, Father, now that you bless this food to our bodies and our bodies to your service. In your precious name, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
So we came in here yesterday and we platformed an area that would allow me to be able to walk on solid ground and not run the risk of falling in the holes again and disjoining my legs. It's still tender, so I still have some issue walking, but at least now with this platform, and then of course I got a couple other platforms, you'll notice the wire on the ground. That's the old wire that used to feed the power here. And I think if any of you guys haven't seen it, you can go back and watch the video where I had the power company come out and move the power over to the new panel. What I didn't film was that same day, later in the day, I came in and I moved the 50 amp circuit that was in this little panel right there, and it ran up through the attic space, and now you can kind of see that black wire over there kind of looped. Try and focus in on it a little bit here. You see that black wire that's looped right there? That's the 50 amp wire that feeds our fifth wheel, and I had to bring it down and mount it into that panel right there, and that's our new power. That's where all of our power is at. So I didn't film that because, again, it was late in the day. I had been moving around a lot because I did some drone shots. I did a bunch of hand filming. Unfortunately, this other camera right here for some reason the memory card wasn't properly formatted and it didn't capture what I was expecting to capture. I wanted to be able to provide for you guys a time lapse of what was going on, but it didn't happen. Nevertheless, so since then I got in here, I got this panel made up, and I got at least the 50 amp circuit and one plug circuit that feeds overhead here. Let me move over here slowly. There's one that feeds over there to an outlet that runs the garage door opener, and also has a plug in it. If you see that orange cord there, that orange cord feeds the refrigerator and the wine fridge. And man, you know, that's important. The wine fridge, absolutely. No, I'm kidding. The refrigerator is important because it's got our ice in it, and we keep some of our overflow because our RV refrigerator is not very big. So we bought our refrigerator. If you look right here, we bought our appliances for the house on an early sale, and I did it for two reasons. One, because the economy is so unstable and I'm worried about prices continuing to rise rapidly, and didn't want to wait until the next season, which was, we bought these things during the Christmas season when they were having these tremendous sales. So we got all our appliances pretty cheap, and even our refrigerator was cheap when we bought it at Home Depot. So we got all of our appliances early, and it's good that we did that because, like I said, it's a good overflow because our RV refrigerator just is not big enough. So that's where we're at. I did a little bit on the back. I noticed something that I messed up on. We've had continual rains for, about a week. In fact, it's supposed to rain again tonight. The humidity is horrible. I didn't get all of the nail holes caulked when I put up this shear panels, this Georgia Pacific force field, which means that with all those rains, moisture got into the nail holes, and I'm sure that it's done some damage. So I did some work on that yesterday. I filled some more nail holes, but man, there is still a ton more to do. And it's going to rain again here. I'm out of caulking. It's going to rain again here tonight, and we've got to run to Home Depot this afternoon. So you can see on these sheets right here, I used a black caulking to fill in the holes. And I mean, you can see right here, there's some holes I didn't fill, which I need to come back and get. And then I also didn't get up here over top of the garage doors. So those need to get done. And I also did not get those guys down there. And that's where a lot of splashing happens. And you can see that with all that Georgia mud that's on the wall there. This is always going to be a problem until I get some concrete out here. So I also refilled in, I think you're going to be able to see that, I refilled in some of these caulking joints that had kind of like submerged and kind of sucked into the expansion foam that I used on the bottom, you know, fill in this gap. I used that expanding foam, then cut it off and then sealed the top of it with caulking, and it sucked some of the caulking down and created holes. And so I think water was still penetrating through here, so I tried to fill in some of those. But then I used the rest of the caulking to fill in holes. As you can see, a bunch of those are filled in, but I ran out of caulking, and so that's got to be finished up. Really, the big thing that we're working on right now that needs to be completed are these floor joists. Once I get the rest of these floor joists completed, then I can complete the plumbing deal. Complete the plumbing. So right now, if you notice, if you can see that, let me zoom in here. Right down there, you can see that little piece of copper sticking out the wall there. That's the back end of that plumbing that I did out front to plumb in water back into the building. So we've got a water hose out front that we tie into for our water for the RV, and all the water inside will come from that 1-inch pipe. And I've got to transfer it over to PEX and then run the PEX lines through here underneath the floor, and it's going to be in the floor joist space. And then I've got to run the branch lines that run all the way down. So I need to drill the holes for that and get that lined out. And then I also need to put the liner in the bottom. So you can see those rolls of like Tyvek paper. It's a different brand, but so that building paper is going to go on the bottom, tacked up to the bottom of these floor joists all the way across here. And then I'll run my plumbing lines. I'll put a piece of insulation down on top of that, which is basically a vapor barrier. So this will have two vapor barriers. So on the soil down below, there'll be clear visqueen plastic vapor barrier. And then at the bottom of the trusses, there'll be another vapor barrier, which is with building paper or Tyvek type paper. And then I'll lay insulation in. I'll lay a sheet of that 1.5 inch insulation, and then I'll run my piping through here for my plumbing. And then I'll lay another layer or two of that stuff on top of it to fill the space. And then I can start putting down permanently my subfloor. So I'll have my subfloor down to within 4 to 6 feet of this wall. And then hopefully on a weekend or something, I'll have a bunch of friends come over and my son, and we'll tear this wall down, rip it out. Before I do that though, up here between the last two trusses, I need to block these guys. I need to block across, like ladder style, like I did on the other side over there, where you can see that ladder blocking. That's where my end wall will come up and meet the space between those. I'm gonna do the same thing here. This will get re-roofed. I wanna go with a metal roof on this place. And if you guys, well, I didn't really show you the plans, but the plans call for a front deck. And I talked about it before, that it's gonna be like 10 feet off the front, and it's about 32 feet long, so it's a big deck. But the roof structure on that, they won't allow me to tie it into this roof and carry the load, but they will allow me to tie it into the roof as long as the structure itself is carrying the load, meaning that the porch posts carry the load of the roof, and then I'm just touching the roof, and then I can make up, with valley metal and re-roofing it, it'll look like it's all tied into one roof, which it will be, it's tied in, but this roof structure will not be carrying the load. I'm gonna get back to what I was working on before everything went sideways and I practically broke my leg. So I'm gonna jump in here in this hole, and I'm gonna start working on these floor joists, and I'll try and set up some cameras again to get an idea of what I'm doing. So the last time you saw me working on this was the day that I practically broke my leg, but let's hope we don't have a repeat of that. And with this new floor, with this new subfloor setting in place to give me a pathway to walk around without worrying about falling through the floor joist, I can get back to work. So let's do that. Let's get back to work. Here we go. So I got 2 braces. I need 1 more down there in order to get so we got some of these right here. Howdy ho, neighbor. Good morning. Welcome to the farm. I'm talking to YouTube. Not who. I'm talking to you.
Why?
Tube. YouTube.
YouTube.
I'm talking to YouTube. Cheryl wants to know who I'm talking to. Welcome to another day in beautiful Georgia. Trying to finish our house. And not much has been done in 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Didn't have to have the surgery, thought we were gonna have to have. That's a praise report. But it means that things have to go slower, which is hard for me to accept. But what am I gonna do, right? So I just wanted to get the day started by telling y'all good morning. All right, so as I mentioned, I went down and got me a new wheel for my grinder. But just so you can get a bird's eye view of what I'm having to do here, let me flip this screen around. So that's the old wheel. As you can see, it's worn down pretty good. And that's what a new wheel looks like. Paper's still in, I gotta get up. That's how bad the rust has gotten on these I-beams. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm trying to speak through a mask. So anyway, as you can see, the rust is pretty bad there, and you can see here where I've been grinding on it to get that out of there. Put my glasses back on so I can see the detail that you're seeing. Now it's also like down in these areas here that are hard to get to. And what's funny is right there, it really doesn't look as bad. But man, when you put your hand on it, feel it, you can feel the scale, right? And here, I mean, there's some scale right up here I can feel, but right here, it's pretty smooth. There's some minor gaps between the wood and the I-beam. And I've got to come back through and check, because this is where, remember I talked about it before. Hopefully that music's not drowning me out, but this is where these I-beams were welded together with this joint, and they're kind of bowing down. So even if I bring them up to level in the other areas away from that dip area might not come up and touch the bottom of the floor joists. So I'll have to probably come in and shim those areas up just so that there's some solidity, so that the floor joists don't bow down to touch that. But otherwise, so that's where I'm at. So we've got this cleared out from the other day. I pulled out the next 10. Actually, I think I took out like 12 or 13 floor joists. I went ahead and went all the way to where I've got it decked off.
Beautiful Georgia afternoon. Looks like it's gonna rain. One of those pop-up thunderstorms is about to come in. Bruce is out here working in the house. You gotta lift it. How much?
Enough to push that 2x7 underneath.
lift the house up a little bit to get the new rim joist in. So what are you doing, honey?
Well, I have to put something solid enough on the wall of the house so that I can put the jack and a board up underneath it to actually lift the house so that I can push the rim joist up underneath. There's just too much pressure on the bottom plate against the rim joist that's existing and not creating enough space for a new rim joist to go in there, so I've got to make enough space. But it's got to be well secured. It can't be flimsy. Good exercise for my knee, though.
I hope so. Just a little bit scary.
The only thing that's scary about this is that depending on how this is all set up, if this hinge point right here, the point where the jack meets the block,
Yeah.
has a tendency to want to go that way, as it lifts, the thing can do that and kick this block out.
Oh.
Right, so I have to be cautious of that. It's getting dark. You supposed to get rain today?
I just said
No, no.
there's a chance, yes, that it might rain.
Chance is looking better and better every minute.
Yep. Getting darker and it's raining in Noonan, so good chance it'll be doing it here pretty soon.
Here we go.
Yes. Oh. I don't like all those noises, honey.
That's got to be connected somehow. Because this block right here
Yeah.
wants to raise up. See how I can move the shim under?
Well, it's kind of dark, so I really can't see it. Oh, that. Yeah, okay.
So
It's raised up a lot then.
yeah, it's raised up, but I've got to get between this block and the other rim joist, and somehow this guy's attached to it. And I don't remember attaching this thing or how we could have gotten screwed to it. Trying to lift all of that excess weight now, and like I said, this one thing is hanging on. And it doesn't want to
Comes a
let go.
windstorm. Oh God.
Oh,
Oh God. Our umbrella.
yeah, you better go get the umbrella.
I don't know if I can.
Guys, this is crazy right now. Just all of a sudden, the wind kicked up. You can see these trees right now. Listen to that. Over the years, have been cutting the backside of that tree off because of where the power lines are. Let me come around here and show you. And hopefully you guys can hear me. Well, look at that wind. Anyway, you see that the backside of that tree has been cut back so much, and now the tree's kind of leaning toward the house, and all the way to the tree is over the house. Man, that wind is something else, man. I'm not even sure if you're going to be able to hear me.
The rain's supposed to start now.
Yeah, it's already starting to sprinkle. So when that wind blew really hard, well, you can see that limb up on the roof. It just blew down onto the roof, and a few other smaller limbs blew our direction and off into the lawn. A ton of leaves were blowing out here that were being picked up from the back. I mean, the wind is literally coming from the direction I'm pointing the camera in almost gale force. And it had this tree leaning pretty good and knocked a bunch of the dead branches from the inside of it out. I'm hoping that that tree doesn't go and hit this house with this wind blowing like this. So I'm going to close up the garage. I think we're going to call it a day. Not that we've had a whole lot of days to begin with. Our days have been pretty short because I've not been able to do much with my knee. And I can already tell just that little bit that you all saw me doing.
Power outage.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Power's out. Nice. All right, so I don't know if you can see Cheryl. She just sat down.
Heavy rain, he says.
Yep.
I hear all kinds of stuff hitting the top of the RV.
Yep. Here it comes.
Severe thunderstorm.
I'll tell you, with a crazy wind like this, it's kind of scary because I got a bunch of piles of stuff in the backyard.
It could be everywhere.
I don't want that stuff blowing and hitting the back of the house. At least the upside is right now the back of the house doesn't have any windows on it. Downside is I may have to be pulling some of that stuff out of the building from all around the yard and making a new pile. Who knows? But
Sunshine in the house.
like I said, we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you guys in the morning.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, I am a firm believer, yeah. Oh man. Good afternoon, guys. It's a hot one. Well, relatively speaking. It's probably 80, 90 degrees out right now, but the humidity is probably 89%. So it feels like 101, 102. So I'm back out here today working on the
the subfloor, the floor joists. And I just wanted to give you a quick update because I'm changing some things around since I'm beyond the halfway point or at the halfway point of the floor joists on this side. I got to move some things around, so let me show you where I'm at. So if you've been paying attention, the last video I did, this hole was still wide open, and I was grinding off these I-beams and getting ready to put down some more floor joists. I put down a couple, but I needed a whole lot more. So now those are in. And like I said, we're almost at the halfway point because what you see there is all that's left. But I got to pull out the ones that are existing, clean all those I-beams up, get rid of the short or damaged floor joists and replace them. But in order to move to that next section, I got to move the refrigerator. So I put a new outlet in right there between the windows. Well, there we go, guys. Moved over to a new location, which opens up all the rest of this, the floor joist to be removed. And the next phase, which is grinding these I-beams, well, actually pulling out the floor joist, grinding the I-beams, and then putting in the new rim joist across there. And starting the process of putting the floor joist back down. I still have to get these wardrobes though moved over to that location.
Dirty, dirty, dirty appliances, but they need to be washed down with a soft cloth and not a sponge because it's gross. Got plenty of sheets so we can cover them up with sheets.
It sounds like a lot of sheep.
Yeah. Did you tell them that I went to take Dora to the vet? No. I just got back from taking Dora to the mobile vet because she's been kind of sick for the last week or two, and her abdomen is filling up with fluid. There's no really way to tell what it is until we do blood work, which is what they drew blood today. And I'm supposed to find out tomorrow afternoon what the outcome is. We don't know if it's her kidneys, her liver, or her heart. So anyway,
Or a tumor.
Or a tumor. We just pray that it's something simple, hopefully, that she can be treated for. You know, if not, then we have to make a decision once she fills up with fluid again, because it will fill back up again. They just took off 5 ounces, which isn't much, but that's all they can take because there's protein in the fluids. And they can deplete her protein. So it's been rough.
It's been a rough couple of days. It's been a rough couple of weeks, actually, which is why the last video we put out, which by this point will have been months ago, it was weeks between them because we just had so much going on, and with my injury and trying to recover from that, which I'm doing much better. I mean, I'm obviously out here making some strides, but all it is strides. It's small strides. More thunderstorms. Yeah, be honest with you, I never imagined this, and they tell me, just like the tornadoes that we've had are way out of the norm. This particular area, they don't typically get tornadoes. The tornadoes happen, they typically go around here because of the lay of the land. But I guess times are changing. The climate is shifting across the continent. We moved from California
the climate moved slightly with us. The upside is California's gotten some rain. Hopefully it's pulled them out of a drought, and it'll keep them out of a drought for a while. We'll see. Only time will tell there. So we've got a ton of water, and of course as it heats up, all the moisture in the ground starts to evaporate, which increases the humidity tenfold. And so right now it's pretty normal to start out the day with somewhere around 79–80% humidity. And by this time in the day, I'm gonna say the humidity is probably about 91–92%. I'll have to look online and see, but it's not particularly hot. There's a little bit of a breeze, but when you start moving around, the humidity causes whatever heat there is to just condense on your body, and it just makes it miserable. So it's really hard to work in it, but we're doing a pretty good job. I'm not gonna stop, I'm not gonna give up, but I am gonna stop for today because my knee is killing me. In fact, my whole leg is actually hurting right now, probably because I put too much stress on it for today. Trying to get so much done because I wanted to get this area cleared off and moved over to make room for the next set of floor joists that have to be done. So that's where we're at, and we'll pick back up again tomorrow. See you then.